actually, because for my VODs and stuff, I need to be sure that like everything is working fine. Okay, we can continue now. So, next on we have something called I have like one, two, yeah.
Be yourself.
Okay, we've got something like, let's check this out. Maybe it will help me in life. I doubt it, but like,
Be yourself.
mm, okay. Why you should be yourself even if you hate it? Welcome to the world, world of entertainment and content creation, where like people can just sense if you're not yourself, and usually the people who are successful, they're the people who actually gave up on not being themselves. To explain more easily, like when it comes to artistry, no matter what art you do, if you're not completely yourself, usually you will live in some sort of limbo, and you will never get to be who you want to be. Where when it comes to being yourself, there's a point like where you will lose a lot. It will cost you a lot to be yourself. Maybe social relationships, maybe part of yourselves, maybe some of your own like some things that you thought were you, but the payoff is that you get to hate yourself just like the old way, just like you did, but at least you know that you are truly yourself and that you're not like faking it for anyone else, or that you try not trying to fucking please something or someone.
Self is advice you've probably heard hundreds of times. Be yourself is advice you've probably heard hundreds of times. It gets said time and again because it makes people feel good. It's advice that reassures you to not be afraid. The world will love you as you are. But what if that's not true? What if being yourself doesn't feel good? What if it actually feels terrible? There's not really any advice about that, right? The advice just starts and ends with be yourself. And they make it sound so easy. It's crazy because I feel like the value of authenticity is actually at an all time high right now. People seem to have stopped flexing all over social media. Like when I look at my YouTube homepage, I see people who are just sitting in their room talking to their camera and getting a lot of engagement. But I'm sure there's people who go out there and be themselves and everything still sucks. In fact, it probably feels worse. What happens when you reflect about who you actually are and all you notice are the flaws, fears, and weaknesses you wish weren't there? No one talks about that part. No one tells you that being yourself doesn't always feel good. Instead, we're told to focus on the positives, to love ourselves no matter what. You listen to the advice, and now you have to face all the parts of yourself that you'd rather ignore. The parts that make you feel lazy, insecure, or awkward. It's a tough realization, and it's easy to stop there and shrug and tell yourself, well, I guess this is just who I am. But in my mind, that's not self acceptance. That's settling for less than what you're capable of. I think the truth is, being yourself, even when you hate it, is only the first step to becoming your best self. I realized this personally when I started to reflect on parts of myself that I didn't really want to admit were true. For the longest time, I thought I just wasn't good at connecting with people. I'd show up to college and work events, and I would make small talk and laugh at the right moments, but afterward, I would feel drained, and I wouldn't really make any friends. I told myself it was because I was introverted, or because I just didn't click with people. But over time, I realized that wasn't the whole story. It wasn't the socializing that exhausted me, it was the fact that I was holding back. I was keeping people at an arm's length away. I kept everything light and surface level because I wasn't sure what would happen if I let my guard down. What if I shared something personal and they judged me? What if they didn't care? That fear kept me from being open with others and from building the deeper connections I actually wanted. It wasn't until I started admitting that fear to myself, that fear of vulnerability, that things began to change. Just being myself meant accepting that I was someone who avoided emotional risks because I didn't want to be hurt. And yeah, those realizations didn't feel good. It showed me exactly how far I was from the person I wanted to be. But once I acknowledged them, I could start asking myself why I felt that way. Why did I think vulnerability was a bad idea? Why did
Yeah, vulnerability is actually something that like people like if you don't have the strength to actually be vulnerable in public, like to other people, then I'm sad for you. I really emphasize with you because it takes a lot to be vulnerable all the time. But offering yourself to be vulnerable all the time so is a way to free yourself of everything. Because basically you do not hide being allowing yourself to be vulnerable all the time is basically never lying ever again to anyone or anything and to yourself. But what it means is that like you do not fucking get the fucking chance to fucking not being judged. You do not get the fucking chance uh to kind of like hide your flaws, hide your past or stuff like that. But in the quest of being yourself, this is the great thing, at least for me, that I've ever done. Like, I don't give a fuck who the fuck you are. I don't give a fuck what you think of me. I don't give a fuck what people think of me. I don't give a fuck what the fucking sky think of me, right? And I'm but at the same time, I I don't lie about who I am at any time, you know? I've been like a fucked up person. Uh, I've been like really fucking like awful to people. Not that much, but like like it was people that I cared about. And but when I meet someone, I do not have this, this kind of like secretive part of me that I hide to someone. I just don't have people that can like mostly handle this, handle all this. But once you accept, allow, if you have the strength to be vulnerable all the time, it and to never lie about yourself, well, you will feel freer, and you will also never be surrounded by people. You will never stumble upon the same situation of being surrounded by people you don't know or by people you actually discover that you don't like. Because basically by being vulnerable, it allows you to actually like being like honest about everything. Well, make it so like basically the good people will stay, the bad people will actually be really visible, you know? People that don't care, people that are there just because you're a side option, etc., etc., etc. And so, if you get the chance to be vulnerable, be and completely honest with everything and everyone. Try to be. If you don't have this sense, good luck on your journey because this is really like it must be difficult to be scared of others and to know that like you cannot tell them to fuck off and you cannot and just don't have like the strength to just like the strength to show the world how beautiful you are.
didn't I want to let people in? And as I worked through those questions, something changed. I started sharing more small, honest parts of myself. Some people pulled away, but then others really appreciated it, and they stuck around to become great friends. When you're honest with yourself, your strengths, your flaws, your tendencies, you stop avoiding what you actually are. Avoiding vulnerability and keeping my guard up, it was undeniably a part of who I was. But just because I was those things didn't mean they had to be a part of me forever. Once I started challenging those thoughts and those patterns, I found that I actually liked being around people. I enjoyed connection and making memories. And when I stopped shielding myself from others, I stopped feeling so tired. Instead, I felt fulfilled. And that's what my point is. Being yourself isn't about staying the same, it's about starting from a place of honesty. The problem with just be yourself is that it sounds like a finish line. Like once you're yourself, everything's good and you're done. But
Nah, it's actually the beginning. It's actually the beginning once you're yourself fully. Well, like there is like a big difference between saying I am myself and fucking being yourself all the time. And you can notice like with people like me, there are like other like content creators and stuff that are like, for example, this person probably is himself, but is probably like shy at natural, you know? Like I can tell you that like I do not give a fuck. Like I had like a troubled life enough for me to not actually care anymore for, and it's been a while, you know? And you kind of notice that like there's a big difference between being yourself or telling yourself that you're being yourself. And once you reach this point, it is the starting point, and this is where the magic happens. Well, like everything just connects, and like you start like actually your journey. But it is it is it is a journey of filth, and it is a journey of grudges and betrayal, and there's a lot of like you will suffer so much being yourself. It will be worth it for sure. Yeah, but you will suffer so much. But at the end of the day, really depends on you, because you know at the end of the journey nothing matters because we all die. So enjoy your ride. Enjoy your journey however you prefer, you know.
that's not how it works. Being yourself means confronting some hard truths. For some people, being yourself might mean admitting you're afraid of trying because failing feels too painful. For others, it might mean recognizing that you sabotage relationships because you don't believe you deserve them. These aren't easy things to admit, and some people go their whole lives pretending that it's not true. But once you just be yourself, you take the first step to move forward. You can't change anything about yourself until you accept who you are right now. This is why just be yourself is.
And another thing about being yourself is that like once you are stuck at being yourself, you know, once you decided, and once enough time passed, you cannot live with your flaws anymore. You cannot accept certain flaws anymore. And this is one of the harshest part, where it's like, yeah, you'll have to fucking deal with every problems that you told yourself, forget about it. I can live with that. You'll have to fucking deal with every single fucking like unleft problems, unfixed problems, un uh abandoned issues and everything. But is it worth it? You feel so free after that. You just walk around like a god, you know? And it's not in an egocentrical way or anything. You feel like a rock star because you don't care about the fucking judgment of others. And if there is like a judgment of others, like it's just a different life, you know? It's just a different life. And to be honest, but at the same time, it's such an awful fucking process to do. And a lot of people are just like too innocent or too shy, or do not have like the knowledge or the support or the energy to fucking do that. But once you fucking do, man, like, yeah, you feel like a god next to other people, because like you feel like a divinity, you know, because you cannot you're not searching anymore. You're not like trying to fucking like get the validation of anyone, or like you try to not get the try to fucking search for like a certain person. You know that like life is you know that like you are carrying yourself, and that like do not depend on people anymore. And It's just a different way to be. And like the reality of it also is that like you will notice how much other people are not themselves. And this is actually one of the most torturing part of it, is that you'll notice that like, so you do all this journey, this personal journey of being yourself, and then you're yourself. You fucking did it, champion. You did it, friend. You got to fucking be who you want, who you are, right? And then you fucking go outside or fucking like try to meet up with people, and you notice that they're not themselves. They lie to you all the time about who they are, about who they want to be, about who they try to be, etc., etc., etc. And this is such torture because, like, as much as the fucking people that criticize you and hate you, like, are is something, you realize how lonely you are in this fucking world because, like, people are just like chasing, like, they're chasing like illusions and chasing hallucinations that are like chasing and living in delusions, and you're like, hey, is there someone there, like, and you realize that there is, but they're they try to fucking prove something, they try to fucking like lie about something, they try to fucking like, and it's just like fuck. And this is a moment where like you'll feel really fucking lonely because finding other people that are as free as you know. Uh, well, I didn't. I'll tell you that. I didn't. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. But I really fucking didn't. And I really fucking searched for it. So, yeah. Anyway. But at least I'm not like living surrounded by people like just like fe- feeling uncomfortable for some reason, feeling like unfulfilled for a reason that I did not understood at the time. Like the trade-off, the exchange is worth it, even if it means that like that that life is fucking like yeah difficult on me, you know.
Isn't enough. Acceptance isn't about saying, this is just who I am and I'll never change. It's about looking at yourself honestly, flaws and all, and saying, this is where I'm starting. Think of it like trying to get a higher rank in a game like League or Marvel Rivals. You can't get better until you know where you stand. If you want to climb ranks but you keep losing winnable games, it's easy to blame your own teammates or call it bad luck. But if you really want to improve, the first step would be to look at your own gameplay and ask, what am I doing wrong? Maybe you need to train more in aim lab, or you need to practice your communication. Maybe you just need to understand more about the game. It's not fun to admit that you're making mistakes. It's not fun to be yourself when yourself, in this case, is a garbage player.
Yeah, this is exactly the type of mentality that like you first adopt. I'm at the mentality where it's like not only I think that, but also think how can I win the game, knowing fully that like I do everything that I can to improve, knowing that I need to carry others to victory. You get me? Like 1v9. I don't know if you know the term 1v9, where it's like you don't blame anyone in the team. You know that you fucking like that like you take the blame for everyone all the time, and you tell yourself, with me taking the blame of everyone, pretending that everyone is actually playing perfectly, that it's always my fault, that I need to improve. How do I improve? Even though it's not true, because like it's past blaming others, and it's past telling yourself that I need to improve personally. No, 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 no. It's kind of sadistical, but like and masochistic, but like you tell yourself, no, 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 I am always the problem, and if I am great enough, I can always win. I can always win, no matter what, no matter what. And it it comes at the cost of lying about like others, because basically you see others as perfect companions, players, mates, and everything. And but it makes you a greater person overall, and it makes it challenging for me, at least for me. And where like you don't tell yourself it's the fault of someone else now, because you could have actually like done better, so this someone else would have succeeded. And when it comes to like social, when it comes to, it's the same. It's like I just act as if like if something bad happens, it's because of me. If something bad happened in the fucking reality, it's because of me. It's if something happened in the world, it's because of me. And because of that, I need to improve so it doesn't happen again. Or so I succeed, and or if I try to succeed with someone, I succeed with the person I try to succeed with. Basically, like this is the next level, but like this next level is like for like if for fucked up people like me, technically. Like,
But if you don't face those truths, you might be hard stuck forever. Self honesty is like reviewing your matches. It's taking a hard look at your choices and patterns and saying, this is where I'm at, and I'm figuring out where to improve. And as you put in the work, little by little, you'll start to climb. There's still a ton of work to be done after you admit.
but there's one thing that like there's one thing that I keep following the philosophy and what I just said about like improving yourself, etc. I keep the fun, like I keep the fun of being alive. I keep the fun of trying to improve myself, and I don't like push myself into behaviors, or like I stay myself. I will not like sell my identity to be myself and keep improving in environments that will require me, like even if it means that I have to work more, even if it means that I have to invest more effort to succeed.
What and where you are. But you can't grow until you know where you stand. You're not going to wake up one day and be a completely different person. Being yourself is a lifelong process, not a one time accomplishment. It takes constant reflection and self awareness. If you can look at yourself and say, I procrastinate because I'm scared of failing, or I push people away when I feel insecure, you've already done something huge. You've opened the door to improvement. No one is locked into who they are. You're constantly changing whether you realize it or not. So why not choose the direction of that change? If you've ever wanted to change something, whether it's letting go of fears or building better relationships or improving yourself, it starts with one thing: being honest about where you are. So be yourself, even if you hate it. Because once you're honest about who you are, your strengths, your flaws, your patterns, you can start becoming who you want to be. Being yourself is just the first step. The rest is up to you. Later.
This was a great video. If it is from the same guy, I
There's a
will.
reason so many of us.
Okay, this is something. This man is great. Subscribe to Doozy. Like, this dude actually tells the truth. Like like there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff that like he said that like really resonates with me, and that I actually really respect. And the way that like
There's a reason.
people are fucking people are like fucking struggling with it. I'll just tell you this one harsh truth, and I'm sorry to tell you that, but like this is the real harsh truth, that like as a content creator, as someone who I did concerts, I was in a rock band, I had many girlfriends, I searched in many places, like I talked to billions thousands of people, okay? Like I'm not like the person who never fucking got out of his home, fucking like discover something. Once you are truly yourself, the path of yourself is something that is really lonely, because if you actually achieve it, you will notice how lonely you are being yourself, while everyone else is someone else, you know? And you will talk to someone and you'll be in front of them and be like, hey, my name is Vye, what's going on, you know? And you'll notice that like this person is not there. They they don't they are into like, doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It doesn't mean like they're still searching themselves. But like there is like a real difference when you are like fully yourself all the time and you don't have like this scare of what if someone understand this about me? What if someone no? Because like the reality is that like your secrets, no one gives a fuck about the people that love you. Your past, no one gives a fuck about the people who love you and hate you, right? And basically like I will I will actually like tell you this quite kindly. Like once you are like fully yourself, like you will never fucking you will you will feel a loneliness that you never felt before, and you better be ready. But this is such a hard path. This is such a fucking like difficult path to engage in. That like if you get there after fucking like after hearing from me, well, you will not be able to say that I didn't tell you. Good luck.